there is a technology that is being used to keep you asleep. Being used by whom? It's all about the archons, the demons, and core. The darkness, the dark forces that runs this world, the dark forces that feed off your energy, the dark forces that wants to see you remain asleep so that they can continue harvesting your energy, so that they can continue trapping your soul. This channel is all about soul emancipation from the darkness kingdom into oneness with the source, with the divine, to go back to your original blueprint. It's all about telling you the truth about your true nature and what's around you and where you are, where you ought to be, and where you can be if you choose to. This channel is giving you the choice, the options. It's opening your eyes and then give you the options to choose otherwise, to choose you over the norms, to choose you over them, to choose you over this and that, to choose your sovereignty, your authenticity, your divinity, your freedom. We talk about, today in this video, we're gonna be talking about how they keep you small. In other videos, we spoke about religion as being part of the trip to keep you small, obedience, fear-based, because you're going to be burning in hell, because you're going to be punished. That is religion. Christianity, for example. New Age, we spoke about redirection, confusion, and also fear-based. When you come to this channel, drop your religious beliefs and expectations and leave them out of the door. If you enter this holy place, this is a holy place. If you are a new age, drop your doctrines, your believing systems. Come in empty and let the divine fill your vessel. That wakes up and shake your soul to wake up. To really wake up. There are a lot of new ager who claims to be awake. Well, awaken takes place in different stages. So, well, you might be awake to the extent you say, okay, oh, there is more to this and that. Okay. But then, like I said, most of those who are awakening, they find themselves in the new age, in the bosom of the devil and the archons. And their aim is to keep you asleep. Again, just in another state of sleep. There are different stages of sleeping. Also in the night when you sleep, you have a phase where you just have a light sleep, and then you have a sleep phase where you have a deep sleep, and then again before you wake up, a very light sleep until you wake up. They're trying to give you back into the light sleep. The deep sleep, I don't think that it can really bring you back to that state unless you're really you don't know how to help yourself, you know? Because when you wake up to a certain extent, they can try to put you back into sleep, but not into a deep sleep anymore. So, they are using technology, just like the technology that they're using to shoot me with. Like I said, it's from this world and from the world beyond, the fourth dimensions, the astral world. And they're also using the same technology to spread a frequency, a low vibrational frequency that in that works as an infection almost. For lack of better words, I don't have. I'm seeing with my spiritual eye and my own eyes too, my naked eyes and my spiritual eyes, what they're doing. Most people, they don't see it because they're not so much awake. They don't see what's going on. They don't see what they are doing. What they are doing, they fly around with a small planes, and at the same time they are spreading, they're releasing a wave, a load that is load like a massive collective of suffering, a massive collective of pain, everything that is terrifying for a human, for that matter, collected is like a cocktail put together and being released in the atmosphere. And if you are receptive to that frequency, you're gonna move into fear. You can absorb that, and that will detect your true nature, not your true nature, your reality for that day, for that moment, for your existence in that moment. This is what they're trying to do with me. That's why they are flying around my place all the time, trying to release a huge cocktail of that, because they want to keep me fear-based. They want to bring me into a fear-based, not keep me, I'm not fear-based. Bring me into a fear-based state of being, because that is where they can control me better. That is where they can lower my vibration. And that is the same how they do with you on a daily basis. It's just that you don't see them. You don't see that. You just perceive a helicopter flying or a small plane flying around your place. And you think it's just a normal plane. No, it is releasing something. And at times, it is releasing sounds. But you don't. A normal person who was standing next to me, I've observed that in a city. And I'm seeing and I'm hearing what they're releasing. A normal person who's standing next to me cannot see that and cannot perceive that and cannot hear that. Up to a certain frequency and up to a certain extent of awakeness, of your awakening, you can see more than what a normal eye can perceive. You can hear more than a normal ear can hear. You can smell more than a normal nose can smell. You can taste more than a normal tongue can taste, a mouth can taste. That's the blessings of awakening, and also at the same times, not a disadvantage. I'm not going to say it's a curse. No, it's not a curse, it's a disadvantage. Because this is what they're using against you. Those frequencies that they're using me to shoot me with, those bombs that they're releasing, my neighbor here, she's not one of them, and her husband, they're not affected they're not affected from that frequency. But that frequency can affect me. No, I know now. I figured out a way how to protect myself from that. But at the beginning, as I had my first encounter with that frequency, I didn't know what it is, and it caught me off guard. It affected me. Yeah? Several times, until my spirit showed me how to go about that frequency. And now we see that they are getting frustrated because they see that it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't lower my vibration anymore. After they release that, they are expecting the normal, the area to be normal again, low vibrating for them enough to feel them, and fear-based enough for them to feed on. And then after they release that, they see that, hey man, I'm still not feeling good because they detect my frequency on based on how they feel. Because when I'm vibrating high, I transmute all the intense and negative energies around me. And this is their fault. And then they get hungry. It's like I'm sucking their battery empty. Exactly. This is what I got in my vision. It's like I'm sucking their battery empty. That's why they're fighting me so much. It's like and this is not it applies to everybody who's vibrating at a certain level of frequency. That you are sucking out their battery and you are a threat to them then. So they jump in their cars and then go to the city to load their battery, because in the city, that is their harvesting ground. Because that is where they meet, where they have a cocktail of people who are suffering under anxieties, depression, and sicknesses and pains. And this is their food. That is what they're feeding on. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about more about that frequency. Why do they have to release it now and then in the air? Because they need to keep you fear-based, because we know that the world is changing. The world is vibrating high. Where there is high vibration, there is no room for low vibration. And that in turn, there is no room for fear-based state of being and suffering, and although you just find yourself joyful, peaceful, although you don't know why. That is a new world that is emanating, that is being born, and as in fact, if you vibrate together with the new earth, you are no more food for them, because they need to generate that food artificially. So in that way, that they force you to vibrate low. They force you to be miserable via that frequency, because when they release that cocktail, you have a receptor to that frequency, which most people do have, especially if you're not awakened, and if you didn't have raise your vibration, you didn't heal your wounds, you are receptive to to that frequency. Now you receive that frequency, and this is where they're gonna be using it against you. And this is that return, you find yourself feeling all of a sudden not okay, unhappy, unsatisfied, and this is how they want you, because now they're gonna be fitting on you. Stay tuned, stay in love, stay in light, and stay blessed.